Om Shri Chinmaya Sadgurave Namaha. Vivikta Deshe Cha Sukhasanasthaha Shuchis Samagreva Shiras Shariraha Atyasramasthas Sakalendriyani Niruddhya Bhaktya Swagurum Pranamya Pundarikam Virajam Vishuddham Vichintya Madhye Vishadam Vishokam. Cleanliness for the spiritual seeker, for the sadhaka, is both within and without. Om apavitra pavitrava sarvavasthangato piva yasmarit pundarikaksham savahya abhyantara shuchi. It should be cleaned within and without.
Everybody please mute their phone.
The place is selected. The place selected for the meditation must be clean and healthy spot where there is no possibility of any disturbance from any insects also, like you are meditating and then no mosquito. You have to find that place, or you have to purchase something else, mosquito repellent, to protect your meditation. Not only must the prayer room be clean, but the individual who is to meditate must be, at least for the time being, undressed of all desires and disappointments. Undressed of hatred and jealousy, which generally bring about a lot of inner restlessness. मन की कुचकिचे दूर करना पड़ेगा. एक व्यक्ति ने घर छोड़ा, शहर में रहते, लेकिन उनका ध्यान नहीं हो रहा था, क्योंकि पूरा टाइम भर सिर्फ मैं पू शहर में बहुत सारे in the city, a lot of snarls, traffic, sound, horn. So for the purpose of the meditation, he left home and started for Himalayas. He first got down in Haridwar, and he found it's overcrowded than his own city. Then he went to Rishikesh. He saw somehow it is okay, but still. Then he went to Uttarkashi, told still people are there and sound. Then he went to Gangotri. There also somehow he got the sound problem. Then he went to Gomu, where there is nothing else. But when he started meditation, he heard the sound of Ma Ganga, the flowing sound. He told, This is also not correct. Then he went again to Tapovan. There he suddenly heard the chirping of the bird. Then again he was going for Nandanvan. Suddenly on the way, he met one Swami and he narrated the whole story to the Swami. Swami told, Beta, मन का किचिर मिचिर बंद करो. Oh my son, please stop the chirping sound inside your mind. Without cleanliness with inside, the chirping will not be stopped. Because that chirping at the impurities in the is the result of your mental impurities. A clean mind, therefore, is a mind that was withdrawn itself from the fields of agitation and has come to surrender fully in devotion and joy at the feet of great altar. You have to sit straight. Your head, your neck, and your body will be in a straight line. When a technique is described, it is necessary that it must include all the necessary fine adjustments and arrangements so that the student may not miss the secret of the method. It is interesting to note how the great rishis were very thorough in their technology. And they considered this knowledge of the technique as a very important help for meditation. Here, the teacher is Brahmaji, who is insisting that during meditation, the vertebral column, vertebral column must be held erect and perpendicular to the seat. By keeping the head, neck, and trunk in one straight line with the hip portion slightly brought forward, when the seeker is sitting down in a comfortable posture, asana, with maximum base, the individual is a neutral equilibrium position where his center of gravity would necessarily fall at his own base. After thus describing the necessary helpful arrangements of things around the meditator, and after describing the position of his own physical body, the teacher discusses the favorable conditions under which the subjective equipments of meditation must be brought so that they can hasten the success of the meditator in his contemplation. But unless and until we clean our mind, everything will go in vain. For that, mental attitude of sannyasa is required, verily. Ati asrama, detachment of the mind from sense objects, and the relief from the consequent mental agitations is true sannyasa. Detachment of the mind from sense objects and the relief from the consequent mental agitation is true sannyasa. Where there is no hatred, no desire, no grief. I was thinking, if I die, I will be laid down on a bed. All of you will come to meet me on that day. But I will be laid down on the bed and I can't be able to know that you have come to meet me. Why it is not today? Before I die, you meet me. When I will die, you will forgive my all offenses. You will love me a lot. But I can't be able to know. Why not today? When I will die, you will say that our Brahmachariji was like that, Swamiji was so good, so things. All the good things he will discuss. But मुझे पता भी नहीं चलेगा. Why not today? Try to inculcate the sannyasa inside. Time is very short. Who knows whose time will come first? Hurry up. Understand the realm of the samsara. Understand the realm of the all relationship. And take mental sannyasa immediately. The mind has got a habit of running out into imagined fields of self-indulgence and of roaming about in the fields of remembered joys of the past in an inherent anxiety to relieve them. To detach the mind from these two preservations is indicated by the word sannyasa. Even when a student of meditation selects a quiet place, and even in spite of a spirit of sannyasa, it is true that the stimuli of the world outside can enter through the sense organs and build up an agitation in his bosom. A smell or a sound is sometimes more than sufficient to bring into the mind a flood of associated ideas and set the mind wool gathering in a widening circle of thought wanderings. It is necessary. Therefore, that all the sense organs which are inlets for the stimuli to reach the bosom are completely shut. Think about the hub, wheel you have seen everyone, either they are having the four-wheeler or two-wheeler or anything else. You have seen the wheel. The wheel is moving, 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 moving. But the hub is still. The essence of the will is the hub. Essence of you is the hub. Mind has got tremendous dynamism. Its energies are stupendous. Ordinarily, its energies are spent in its profitless wanderings. When all possible wanderings are blocked, the energies of the mind, which would have otherwise been spent, are conserved. The conserved energy multiplies itself, and thus an irresistible column of mental force is dammed up within. The human will, however strong it will be, cannot hold this energy beyond a certain level. The very creative force of the mind then shatters the will and madly runs out into the sensuous world. Such an outburst of mental vitality brings about the fall of a man of self-control. The river waters held by a dam must find a useful outlet. If the river be perennial, ever alive, it will overflow the dam, and perhaps the surge of waters may pull down the dam. It happens every time. But if the waters of the dam are guided through right channels, it can irrigate miles of fields all around. Similarly, mental energies conserved in one's own bosom cannot be held idle therein, because the source of vitality is a perennial living one. The technique of meditation would have been incomplete if it had only expressed the self-control aspect of it. Here, the teacher is giving us the positive method of intelligently redirecting the conserved energies to an altar, by doing which the mind itself becomes more quiet, palatable, or palliable, and meditation worthy. The instruction is clear. Before meditation, the student is required to bring his prepared mind to the feet of his teacher in an attitude of reverence. The heart can only love and serve. The head can only judge and respect. Clear? The heart can only love and serve. The head can only judge and respect. But when the head and the heart are brought together, the emotions of love and the spirit of service meet the power of judgment and the sense of respect. They all fuse together to become a rare alloy called reverence. The attitude of reverence is constituted of both respect and love. When we can come to love that which we respect, or when we feel respect for the very altar of our love, this sacred confluence, this complete attitude is called reverence. The same love, same devotion, same respect, same faith, same trust, what I am having for my deity inside or in a statue, if the same attitude I can put in one's feet, that is the real reverence. When the mind is in this attitude of reverence, it becomes to an extent palliable, and we can mold that mind at this juncture into any shape that we may choose. At the seat of our meditation, to complete the process of perfecting ourselves, it is necessary that we must bring our mind to this pliable condition. All that we have so far discussed are the instructions on how to prepare ourselves before the launching. Hereafter, the teacher indicates what exactly we must do with such a prepared mind intellect equipment. Now, another aspect, like heart, in philosophy is not the biological organ that pumps the blood to feed the circulatory system. In philosophy and literature, heart stands for the nobler emotions in man that make him human. That arena in the human mind from where the noble urges of love, kindness, mercy, forgiveness, tolerance, and so on flow out is called the heart. जहां से प्रेम, भक्ति, श्रद्धा, स्नेह ये सब निकालते हैं, उसी को हार्ट कहते हैं. दर्शन शास्त्र में Therefore, within the lotus of the heart means in a bosom that cherishes these virtues and so, to a large extent, peaceful and serene, contented and fulfilled. We are thus instructed to meditate in the heart cave, Hridaya Guhayam, upon Brahman, means not Brahmaji, Brahman, the untainted, the pure, the clear, and the griefless, Vishoka. In every science, the scientist will have to employ a vocabulary of his own and coin new terms to indicate and express noble ideas and rare experiences. The infinite consciousness that lies beyond the body, mind, and intellect, which expresses through these equipments as perceiver, feeler, and thinker, cannot be expressed or defined in terms of a language which is conceived or constructed only to express all our transactions in the world of objects, feelings, and thoughts. But at the same time, teacher will have to, if not define, at least indicate for us that state of pure consciousness. In the perfect self, there are neither the world of objects perceived, nor the emotions felt, nor the ideas thought of by us today. Under these circumstances, seers of Upanishads had to sculpt out a special language throbbing with its own imports and suggestions, by which they could successfully indicate at once the direction in which the truth lies as well as its transcendental nature. You know, we heard the word virajam, vishuddham. It means unconditioned by the appetites of the flesh, the agitations of the mind, and the disturbances of the intellect. It is pure. When we say that a thing is impure, for example, a glass of water, we mean that there is in it something other than itself. Hence, it is impure. The infinite reality, non-dual and homogeneous, contains nothing other than itself, and hence it is ever pure. Truth is immaculate. The consciousness that illumines clearly for us our feelings and experiences must be clear, means self-effulgent. When we come to experience it in the light of sun, we experience the vision of everything around us and the sun, who illumines for us everything around, cannot itself be darkness. Isn't so? जो सबको रास्ता दिखाते हैं वो अंधा नहीं हो सकता. Similarly, the consciousness that illumines for us all our experiences cannot itself be an unknowable when all experiences cease. You have to be out of your grief, samsari grief. Grief is experienced by us only at the body, mind, and intellect levels. Transcending these three equipments, we have no other source of pain or grief, and therefore, the state of God consciousness, the pure consciousness, the self has been indicated in our scriptures as griefless. In positive language, this griefless state is indicated in many Upanishads as the bliss absolute. What is Satchidananda or Chid Ghana? You know, Ghana means condensed consciousness. Untainted, pure, clear, and griefless. Untainted, pure, clear, and griefless. These four terms serve as four distinct arrow marks, each one separately indicating the one and the same factor that at once presides over the individual and the cosmic life. So in the cave of the heart, in an attitude of reverence, sitting comfortably in a quiet place, the mantra of Upanishads commands us to meditate upon this great self, Paramatma. What exactly is this inner process of meditation and how to contemplate is being described in the following mantra. Because some may meditate upon the Atma or the self as a formless ideal. Others may meditate upon it through a simple form, an idol, representing the ideal, actually. In either case, the realization is of the same goal. Harihi Om.